Hi, here are 3 mistakes singles must avoid in their relationship. Welcome once again to the Albert Moses YouTube channel. It's your host, Albert Moses. It's been a pleasure having you all this while, and I hope you take something out of this video. Oftentimes, relationships start off good, with the ever joy and excitement of being with the other person, the tingly butterflies in the stomach when you think about the other person. But why does it go sour along the line? The joy of interaction and companionship usually fades along the line because of some mistakes that most people do when they are in a relationship. And in this video, we're going to look at 3 of these mistakes or pitfalls that we must avoid in order to have a long-lasting, beautiful relationship. The first mistake is expectations. We need to manage it. One of the key pitfalls in relationships that sucks out the life away of the beautiful relationship is the way we handle and manage our expectations. We need to understand that the relationship is a mutual affair. Therefore, what we offer should be proportional to what we take out in the relationship. Most of the times, the expectation that we put on our counterparts or our partners are too overwhelming. Therefore, it leaches the beauty and the love and the affection and the life out of the relationship. We need to understand that due to our varying backgrounds, there are a lot of things that we may be used to, be it for the gentleman or be it for the lady. We may be used to a certain level of pampering, a certain level of provision from our parents, from our friends, from our family. If we bring such a level of expectation into our relationships, we will tend to draw the life out of the relationship instead of rather giving life and fueling it with the love, joy, and excitement that we want to receive. For example, the things that you have been familiar with may not be the same things that your partner or your significant other may be used to. So when you put a certain level of demand which he or she is not able to meet, then you are hurting the relationship. Eventually, the life and the beauty will fade away. We need to understand that we are all different. Therefore, our expectations need to be managed so that we wouldn't overstep the level with which each other can provide in this mutual relationship. At the end of the day, we lead to a long-lasting, lifelong relationship. Therefore, we do not need to hurt the fundamental ones that we have as we are growing up. Following the pitfall of over-expectation is the lack of compassion and empathy. Compassion and empathy is a very vital tool in the sustenance of any form of relationship. Singles out there, we need to be compassionate and work and walk with empathy for one another. The Bible says that love your neighbor as you love yourself. But we are in a very egocentric, self-centered, self-driven society of nowadays where everybody is only thinking about what he can gain, what he can accomplish, what he or she is able to benefit from the relationship. We're always looking at how we feel, how am I going to improve, how am I going to benefit. It's all about the self. And these things over a period of time kills relationships. Relationships can start off beautifully. They can come with all the promises and all the bliss. But along the line, if we are not compassionate and empathic, and bear in mind, I didn't use the word sympathy because sympathy doesn't get into the shoes of the other. But empathy is very important because it makes you try to understand the other person, get into his or her shoes to know how they are also perceiving or going about the same thing you are talking about. No one is willing to put him or herself in the position of the other person in order to understand and grasp what both of you are going through. Thus, in putting demands and expectations on our partners in relationships, we need to understand that compassion and empathy is vital in the relationship. We need to always try to understand the other person. It shouldn't just be about ourselves. It shouldn't just be about what we will acquire or gain out of the relationship, but what we can also provide. At the end of the day, a beautiful relationship benefits both of you. It doesn't benefit only one side. It benefits the two who are in this relationship. The third thing I would wish that we avoid in relationship is using our traits and weaknesses against each other. Interestingly, the qualities and traits that attract us to our partners are the same qualities and traits that eventually can be a deterrent to the beauty of our relationships. These traits are part of everyone's personalities. Therefore, there's a chance that it can bring issues in our relationships. For example, as a very outgoing person, you might be attracted to the opposite type of personality who might be reserved, self-centered, and not very out there as you are. Because that person of the opposite trait tends to bring some level of balance to you. And that might be what might have attracted you to the person in the first place. However, when you are in a relationship, why would you use that same trait against the individual? For example, you might want to party every weekend. He or she might be the opposite, who would want a reserved life, be at home, organize things. But if you tend to use that trait against the individual, you are going on a path where you would hurt the relationship, because the person that you are in a relationship with has been wired that way. There may be some times where we can go over our borderline in terms of our traits and then do certain things. But if you constantly use that quality against the person, you would break down his or her self-esteem, you break down his or her confidence in him or herself, and therefore it might tend to be a scar in the relationship which might not be healed properly. So it is best that we consider these things and look closely so that we do not use these traits against each other. A healthy communication is always important in a long-lasting relationship. Therefore, we can find a way to communicate, to have a plain level of understanding in terms of what we expect from our partners. It might be an office get-together that you would want to invite him or her to be part of, so that at least you wouldn't be going alone. It needs better communication, it needs better discussion, and I believe if you are all together in it for a good thing, you would come to a level of compromise where the rather not outgoing person would also want to carry along just to make your day. So communication will play a vital role in such issues. So here you have it. If our relationships will survive the test of time, then we need to take heed of these three powerful pointers. Some mistakes are avoidable if we'll manage our expectations, if we will not use each other's traits against him or her, and if we would have compassion and empathy towards one another in the relationship. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and turn on the post notification so that others might enjoy and be a blessing. Remain safe, take good care of yourself, spread the love of Christ. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye for now.